Today on Max Handy Gadgets, we're making a delicious crustless 3-cheese quiche with tomatoes and ham. So let's get started. Alright, for the main ingredients to make our delicious crustless 3-cheese quiche with tomatoes and ham, we have a hickory smoked ham here. It's a Bristol hickory smoked ham. It's really going to be tasty. And over here we have 2 nice large plum tomatoes. A red and a green bell pepper. We're probably going to use maybe half of this. And back here we have a cup of mozzarella cheese. Yep, it's going to be cheesy, guys. And over here we have 1 onion that we're probably going to use all of it. Over here we have 6 large eggs. Yep. And up here we have a cup of cheddar cheese. Yep, like I said, it's going to be cheesy. And over here we have 2 nice green onions that we're going to slice up. Okay, let's put some of this aside. Alright, let's slice up our tomatoes. Boy, that knife sharp. We just sharpened it using our any sharp knife sharpener. Leave it. It's really sharp, guys. Look at that. I mean, I'm not even pushing on the knife. It's that sharp. Now cut these nice and thin, just like that. Can you see it? Let me see if I can show you. See how thin it is? It's about 1/8 of an inch. Well, let's see if we can cut that last little bit out of there. Okay, that's good. Put this away. And let's do the other one. Wow, you can cut these paper thin with this knife. Don't cut them too thin. About 1/8 inch will be good. It's alright if some of them are a little bigger. Alright, we'll throw this away. Alright, let's bring in a plate and we'll put them right on there. Okay, there's our tomatoes all sliced up nicely. Alright, let's put them aside. Give our cutting board a quick wipe here. Alright, let's slice our onion. We'll cut the end off. Alright, and let's see if we can peel this. Sometimes they're hard to peel, right? Okay, there you go. That's a pretty nice onion, right? Nice. Alright, let's slice it up. Alright, now we're going to just cut these in half and quarter them up like this. And we'll go maybe 2 times there. We'll do the same over here. Leave them kind of big, you know, just like that. Break them up a little. All right, let's put them in a bowl. Okay, let's put our onions aside. All right, let's take our green bell pepper and we'll cut that in half. And we'll probably only use half. Now these are the seedless kind of green bell peppers. No guys, I'm just kidding you. I took the seeds out. Okay, let's slice it up. All right, now let's get our red bell pepper. Boy, that's a pretty color. All right, let's slice this in half. And we'll go ahead and use half of that, right? So let's go ahead and slice it up like we did the green bell pepper. These add a little sweetness to the dish. They're a little sweeter than the green ones, right? And truthfully, they actually cook at different times, but we put them all together all the time. Okay, let's bring these over here. We'll put these like this. And we'll cut them up maybe into fourths. Yeah. Okay. That looks good. Now you could chop them finer if you want. All right, let's bring in a bowl. And we'll put them in there. You know what? I didn't know if they'd fit, but I think I'm going to put them right in with the onions. Okay, let's bring back our onions. And we'll put them right in there. Okay, there's our red and green bell peppers and onions all chopped up nice. All right, let's put these aside for now. All right, let's slice up our green onions. Boy, they're pretty big ones. All right, let's cut the bottoms off here. Yeah, I don't think we want to have them in our dish. You know, we don't want to chew on them, right? All right, let's go ahead and, yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to chop off the bottom stems here a little bit. They're a little bit harder. All right, that'll be good. Now we'll cut the rest of this up. Okay, let's bring in a plate and we'll put our green onions on there. You know, the leafy part up here. Or should I say the more tender part. Now we're going to move these aside because they're a little more on the tough side, right? Let's put these aside for a minute. The green leafy part of our green onion. And we'll bring back our peppers and onions. And we'll put the bottoms right in there of our green onion. Because they all cook about the same. Alright, now there they are. Our red and green bell peppers and onions and the bottoms of our green onions. Alright, let's put this aside. Alright, now we're going to slice up our Bristol hickory smoked ham. You know, it's in the tin here, and let's get it out of the tin and we'll slice it up. Okay, let's do that. Alright guys, here's our Bristol hickory smoked ham. Doesn't that look nice? Alright, let's just go ahead and slice this up a little bit. You know, we'll probably use maybe 5 or 6 slices, and then we'll cube them up. So let's do that. We'll cut them about like this. Okay, we got 3, 5, maybe one more. Okay, there you go. Let's put this aside. Okay, let's stack these up. Just like that. And we'll cut them again like this. And then we'll turn them, and we'll cut them again. All right, they're all cubed up nicely. Okay, let's put them in a bowl. Wow, that's a lot of smoked ham there, guys. Yep, this is getting bigger again. Right? Okay. Okay, there's our smoked ham all cubed up nice. All right, let's put this aside. All right, we don't need our cutting board anymore. Let's put that aside. All right, now we're going to make our egg mixture. Let's crack some eggs, 6 of them. Okay, let's see if we can get that shell out of there. There he is. Okay, we got him. Alright, and to our eggs, we're going to add half a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, a half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, a half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and a pinch of cayenne pepper. Boy, that sounds good. All right, let's put that in there. And we're going to add 1 tablespoon of parsley flakes. Put that in. And a 1/4 cup of regular milk. Now you could use like heavy cream if you want, but I'm using regular milk, right? Okay. Now we're going to take a little bit of our mozzarella cheese and we're going to put that in there. And a little bit of our cheddar cheese. Put that in there. Okay, now let's mix that up. Beat it up good. Okay, that looks pretty good. Alright guys, there it is. Our eggs all beat up. Now all we have to do is start cooking. So let's get started making our crustless 3-cheese quiche with tomatoes and ham. Alright, let's do it. Alright, and today we're using a non-stick skillet, and we're going to set our burner to medium-high and put a little oil in the pan, and today we're using peanut oil. Alright, our pan seems hot enough. Now we're going to take our red and green bell peppers and onions, and on the bottoms of our green onions. Put them right in there. Okay, let's fry up our vegetables. Alright, we're going to cook these until our onions become a little translucent, right? But they're still crunchy. And everything should reduce down by about half. Okay, they're starting to look nice. And they smell wonderful. Yeah, I don't know what it is with red and green bell peppers and onions when they get together, but boy, do they smell good. Alright, let's add all our smoked ham that we chopped up. Put that in there. I know what you're thinking. That pan's too small, right? It might be, but we're going to give it a go anyway. We'll let those onions kind of get a little more translucent. The reason why we're using this pan here today is because it's smaller, right? It's got a high side, and we want to try to get our quiche to get a little thicker, like about 1.5 to 2 inches thick, right? Now we're making our quiche on top of the stove today, but if you choose to, you can put yours in like an oven-safe pan, and then go ahead and make it on top of the stove, and then finish it up in the oven, right? But we're not doing that today. We're doing it all on top of the stove. Let's see how it turns out. It should be real good though. It smells wonderful already with that smoked ham. Boy, you can't beat this, guys. It's really starting to smell good. Alright, let's see how we're doing. We're going to let our onions get a little softer. And the peppers are almost done. But when the onions turn a little more translucent, everything's done. So it'd be perfect. Now this adds a lot of flavor when you do it this way, because all the flavors from all our nice smoked ham is getting in there. Alright, they're looking pretty good. Okay, now just go around the edges and kind of get them in from the edge a little. Alright, that looks pretty good. Okay, now let's go ahead and lower our burner temperature to medium. And we'll take our 6 eggs that we beat up and we'll beat them up again. Now we're going to put about half of these in there right now. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix that in. I like to mix them in so it gets in the egg. All those good vegetables. Okay, that's pretty good. Looking good. I'm flattening it out a little bit. Go around the edge again. Okay, now the bottom is starting to cook real good, so it doesn't take long when you do it this way because the egg is already starting to cook. It's about half done, right? Now at this point I like to add a little cheese. So I put a little cheese on there. That's mozzarella cheese. Alright, and a little bit of our cheddar cheese. This helps glue everything together, guys. And we're going to take our tomatoes and we're going to put them right on there. Okay, kind of push down. Now we're going to take the rest of our egg mixture and beat that up again. Alright, and we're going to pour that on top. Just like that. Give the pan a little shake if you want. Okay. Okay, that looks really good. Now we're going to add a little more of our mozzarella cheese. And we're going to add a little more of our cheddar cheese. Now we're going to add more tomatoes, guys. This makes it look pretty. Plus they taste wonderful. Now we're going to take our American cheese. Yeah, there's the third cheese. I knew you were waiting for that. And we're going to make little strips. Okay, at this point we're going to lower our burner temperature to medium-low. And we're going to put the rest of our mozzarella cheese on there. Okay guys, that's it. Now we're going to take what's left of our cheddar cheese and put that on there. That's going to be cheesy, guys. Okay, that's it. Now we're going to take our green onions and we're going to put them on top. Now I like to add just a little bit of salt, not much, and a little bit of pepper. Okay guys, let's cover that and let everything get nice and hot. And let all that cheese melt. Alright guys, let's check our cheese. See how it is. Wow. Oh, look at that, guys. That is beautiful looking. Alright, let's shut off our burner. because that's done. So let's go ahead and have a taste of this. I just can't wait. This is really going to taste good because it smells wonderful. All right, let's go ahead and have a taste. All right, guys, here it is. Look at that. That's our delicious crustless 3-cheese quiche with tomatoes and ham. Boy, doesn't that look good? Now all we have to do is try to get this out of the pan, right? I might need a little help doing this, but let's see what we can do. Let's get under here, all the way around the edge. Let's see if we can get it out of there. Okay, guys. Look at that, guys. Oh my gosh. That's just beautiful looking. And the smell is wonderful. Boy, I can't wait to have a taste of this. This is going to taste good. I just know it is. So let's get into a bite. Let's see if we can cut this like right here. And maybe over here. Make sure we're cut through. Wow, look at the cheese, guys. It might be a little hot yet. Alright. Alright, that's so hot I'm going to have to use a spatula. And we'll get under there. Let's see how we do. Look at the cheese in there, guys. Can you see it? Look at that. Can you see the cheese? Wow. Alright, and look at all the tomatoes. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Alright, let me put that on a plate. Look at that, guys. That is just beautiful looking. There's our 3-cheese crustless quiche right there with tomato and ham. And it's loaded with ham, loaded with tomato, and it's loaded with green and red bell peppers and onions. Boy, is this looking good. I can't wait to have a taste of this. Alright, let me put this aside and we'll get into a bite. First, I got to just show you just how much cheese is in here. Look at this. Can you see it? Alright, let me get that out of there because that's mine. Let me have a taste of that. Is that good? Alright guys, let's just go ahead and have a bite of this right here so I can show you. Alright, let's get into a bite. Wow, look at that. That is just awesome looking right there. Can you see it? Look at the tomato and everything in there. Beautiful, and the cheese is everywhere. Alright, let me have a bite. Boy, is that tasty, guys. You're gonna love this. I'm telling you, just go ahead and make them this way. And look at the thickness of that. That's like 1.5 inches thick. That's because of the smaller pan and the higher sides, right? It doesn't, spread out as much. But boy, is this tasty. You're gonna love these. Just go ahead and make them, like I said. They're delicious. And look at all the tomatoes that we put in there. This is just tasty. I never had one this tasty, I don't think. Your guests are gonna love these. Just go ahead and serve up a nice slice in the morning, or heck, for even lunch, Just go ahead and serve up a slice and have it with your favorite beverage and you're good to go. And there's enough ham and everything in there, and that little bit of spice that we put in, it tastes really good. And it's easy to make. That's what's good. Alright, you know what would go good with this, since we're having this for like a late breakfast? A nice large pot of coffee. Now doesn't that sound good? It really does. I can't wait for a cup of Java. Alright guys, if you're enjoying these videos, go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Delicious crustless 3-cheese quiche with tomatoes and ham. That's what's for lunch today. Yep, I just got to have another little bite. Look at that, guys. Look at the cheese in there. Mmm, you're gonna love these. Just serve that up with a cup of java, and boy, you're all set. Doesn't that look good? It tastes wonderful. All right, catch you on the next one.